Thanks for joining us for This Week in Odyssey, where subscribers to Odyssey, the print MIS for marketing ideas for printers, can discover what's new in Odyssey and learn about the best practices to use Odyssey to its fullest. Let's get started.
All right, well, welcome to Marketing Ideas for Printers 7th edition of This Week in Odyssey. And as I've said before, we'll be presenting these webinars every other Wednesday, which coincides with our Odyssey release notes. So I say let's get right to it. So from our Odyssey release notes that actually came out earlier this week, we have a couple new features that we feel that allow for better organizing of your resources and your team members. The first one is simply labeled alphabetizing, and basically, we've actually, I'm sorry, let me take that back, resource task sorting. So right here, I have an example of booklet binding within my Odyssey, and right now we give the ability, when you hover over a task, you get an up and down arrow, and you can simply take this task and drag it down, up, and whatever you wish. So whether you have 2 tasks or 20 tasks, we now give the ability for you to put these in order, basically however you feel the need or want those to show up when you're further on down in estimating. So
That's really nice. That's such a subtle little change, but that can be a big deal. Just knowing that if you're just used to a certain order or want the most important ones on top, boy, that's huge. So,
yep,
kudos to the development team on that one.
yep, good job, and for sure, just hover over those tasks again, and you'll see that little up and down arrow on the left side, and that just indicates that you can drag and drop that task wherever you'd like. The next thing on the list is called alphabetizing, and what this is in your estimate view, and as you can see, I'm in an estimate right here. On the right-hand side, all these resources, they used to be kind of mishmashed together and not alphabetized. So we made it a little bit easier now. If you know offhand the name of your resource that you want to add to your estimate as you're making it offline, or maybe you need to adjust an estimate that came in, feel free to scroll down, and these are alphabetized, and you still have the ability to click in and type in the name of your resource so you can easily fine tune it even more. So we feel with the alphabetizing there that they'll give you a little bit more ease of use in finding what you're looking for, especially if you have perhaps hundreds of resources. You never know. So this will make it a little bit easier for you when you're in your estimate view.
Yeah, you know what? I was just thinking that as you're showing that, Trish, it really kind of speaks to this fun stage we're at with Odyssey right now, where a lot of the foundational stuff is really kind of locked into place, and we can do some of these. I don't know what I was going to say window dressing type of things. It's more than that. It's usability. It's just making Odyssey as easy to use as possible. Just even the 2 things that you've shown here, you know, in the grand scheme of things, are they as big as some of the Odyssey things that we're doing? As big as making data entry flow from website into MIS? No, not nearly as big as that, of course, but they're still important. It's the usability thing, and that I keep going back to that. It's just that nice little pattern that we have of every 2 weeks. There's new improvements and updates and pushing on out, and those 2 things that you shown are just more evidence of that. So. Good stuff.
Thanks, for sure. And then actually to build on that, I have one more item that I'm going to show folks. In your team members view, and I don't have very many team members on my team here in my Odyssey, but we have alphabetized your team members. So perhaps you have 50 plus, maybe 100 employees. Again, they were scrambled on the left side. These are now been alphabetized, so you can easily find your team members, drag them in there, and then you can make your edits and what have you on the fly here. So it makes it a little bit easier to find the team members that you're looking for as well. So that's another update that we made to Odyssey to make it a little bit easier as you're navigating around the different parts of Odyssey.
And I gotta admit, seeing iced tea on your screen is a really big distraction for me. That's one of my favorites. So
yeah, just making a little fun on that one.
Yeah, I love it.
And then there was actually a bug that we fixed that I believe many folks have been seeing, and I've been seeing, was there was a pop-up asking if the paper coded value had changed, and obviously I just clicked cancel and no. So now we've found what was causing that and resolved that, so you should not be seeing that question or that pop-up asking about your paper coding value changing. And then another thing that I want to go over, and I know I've gone over before, but perhaps we have some new folks that are going to be watching this. In the upper right section of any Odyssey page that you're on, whether you're in team members, you're in orders, you're in estimating, or maybe you're even in accounting and you get stuck, we have a little help section up here where you can view Odyssey documentation. You can click to view the release notes, and if you want to open a support ticket directly from Odyssey, that'll link in and create a support ticket for you. So don't forget to utilize the help section if you get stuck. And again, always feel free to call us, but we have these options for you available as well in Odyssey in case you're at a standstill for something. So with that, I believe Dave has another great and interesting topic to go over with us all today, along with a little bit of feedback to share with us.
Yeah,
So
we had some neat feedback. Actually, I'm going to kind of steal some of your words, Trish.
Oh.
And you had shared a note from one of our Odyssey subscribers, Derek. And let me get the screen coming over my way here just to get ready for that. Bear with me just a second. There we go. So Derek is one of our Odyssey subscribers, and honestly, what I've told him personally, I'll just kind of say it out loud here too, is I think he's the guy with the most momentum right now. He maybe got a little bit of a later start than some of our subscribers, but I think he's got a lot of momentum. So for everyone else, you got to catch up to Derek. You got to get going here. But we had some really fun news come back from him. And here's what, Trish, what you had said. I'm just going to read it verbatim.
Sure.
And just fun. This is Trish talking about Derek, and Trish says he has 2 new customers that found his website organically, successfully placed and paid for an order, and it went very smooth into Odyssey and throughout the process. He was very happy with how Odyssey handled the situation, and it reinforces the fact that Odyssey works well and does what it's intended. And I just thought that was such a neat update. Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, 2 customers, we want more than that, of course. But boy, that's where it starts. You know, he's kind of new on the Odyssey side, and he's already got that going. And there's a few things happening in there too. You know, he's got first of all, with the website, our websites are very search engine friendly. He referenced that they found the website organically and completely on their own, successfully placed and paid for an order, and it went smooth into Odyssey and throughout the process. So kind of some, really, that's what we're aiming for, just to automate what can be automated. And there it was. There is the whole process. So from starts to finish, and it was just fun news.
Yeah, that was great to talk to him and encouraging as well. So yeah, I appreciate Derek's comments on that very much.
Yeah. And so with that comment, I'm going to use that to kind of nudge my part of the presentation a little bit further on down the line. And what does that look like in a situation like Derek's when a customer, when a printer finds, I'm sorry, not a printer, when a print buyer finds your website organically and sets up their own account and sends in their own orders and pays for it? Well, you get that notification, of course, just like on my presentation site here. I've got that little alert bell up in the upper left-hand corner. So that would be one of the early cues that, hey, there's printing to be done here, along with the email confirmations, of course. And all of that happens. And then one of the places for the people on your team that are actually going to do printing, to do the tasks that make printing happen, that's where the schedule can be a big part of that. Now, we just talked to Trish about some of the things that you were showing, some of the bug fixes and some of the updates and enhancements. We talked about that, how some of that is just some more usability type of things are being brought to the front. You're going to see that in the scheduling here too. So I wanted to take a moment. This might be one of those kind of hidden little gems that maybe hasn't got all the attention that it needs to, but we need to bring some attention to that. And so for the people on your team that are making printing happen, running the equipment, all of the different things that are the tasks, that's where they want to be hanging out here in this schedule area. So if I go to schedule, in the schedule icon, and go to that first link, my tasks, just a reminder about what's hiding in here. And so if there is a task assigned to you through that process, someone placed an order, and somewhere along the line, either during that order or perhaps because of the choice of a production manager in your shop at some point, assigns a task to you, you meaning the someone in the production end, you're going to see the tasks that you have available. And this is an example of that. We can look at the tasks assigned to me, or maybe you finished all your tasks and you want to look at unassigned tasks. Maybe there's a few you can grab off of the queue here. You can do that. Just as importantly, if you actually look at a task, if we click one open, you have all of the details about that task and relative to that job. And you can go ahead and start that task. And all of a sudden, you've clocked into that task. You've made that part of Odyssey happen for you, or that part of that printing job happen for you. And that progress starts showing up. Perhaps you stop to go to lunch and you come back in and you start that task again. Like, oops, I forgot to start it again. Well, you can update your progress with approximately where you're at and just pick up right where you left off. All kinds of neat things happening in there. So I wanted to draw that one out a little bit today because that's one that maybe we haven't talked about as much, but we need to, and we're doing that today. So I want to make sure that everyone is aware of that tasks area in the schedule. That's it. That's kind of the long and short of it. That's what I had to offer today.
Yeah, thank you for going over that, Dave. Like you said, it's a hidden little gem. More people are probably wondering a little bit about it, but maybe now that they see this, they're going to have their curiosity piqued and they're going to take a look, and who knows, maybe they'll start seeing that how valuable this section of scheduling is. So again, I appreciate you going over this more in depth, Dave. And with that, we thank you for joining us during this edition of This Week in Odyssey. And remember to stick around until the end for a quick survey, and we appreciate your feedback very much.
For those watching live, stick around for a 2-question survey. On behalf of the whole team at Marketing Ideas for Printers, thanks for joining us.